I know what you want. You want to see the movie.
Oh, man. Why is this happening? I don't like this.
Tingle. Eating noises, eating noises.
What do you mean you don't like it, Brandon? We have a fancy-ass new setup.
And you're wasting it on that nonsense.
No, Brandon, I am gonna go skyrocket to YouTube ASMR fame, and I'm gonna get my money. I'm gonna get my money.
One question for both of you. What are you going to do with all your sellout money?
Oh, fuck. Brandon, what are you gonna do with all your sellout money?
I'm going to buy an island, a real isolated island, and never see any of you people again.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah,
It's not a bad idea, though.
I know what to do. Get a bunch of money, and then tell all of you to fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a Ducati,
Uh-huh.
and then I'm gonna get on said Ducati, and I'm gonna ride into the sunset. Where, I don't know, because I'm just a lone wolf.
You know you don't ride into the sun, right? You have to end up somewhere.
Excuse me? Well, yes, Brandon, I know I don't ride off into the sun. I said into the sunset.
Right.
It's like the ending of an 80s action movie, after I've taken down the entire Russian mafia.
What would the title of your 80s action movie be?
Oh, you can't put me on the spot like that.
Cliff Thundercock.
What? No, it was Lance Thundertrome in the Isle of Babes. I don't fucking know.
The Isle of Babes.
How many babes?
Yeah, how many?
24 babes.
Okay.
24 babes. But they're all babes the pigs.
A baker's dozen of babes.
A baker's dozens of cute little pigs with bow ties.
They can talk.
That can talk.
That all say ba.
It's not a Ducati. I just put a bunch of pigs, make them carry me like on a sled.
Little pig slaves.
Yeah. And we don't so much as ride off into the sunset as we slowly slough forward. What are you going to do with all your rich ASMR money, Raquel?
I'm going to buy an unnecessarily huge house and live it in alone forever.
That's basically what I'm doing, and you gave me shit for it.
And die in there.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a better idea. Instead of the pigs because they's cute, I am also going to get a house that's empty and live in it forever.
That was my idea. Anthony, how could you take my original idea like
my
that?
idea.
No, Brandon, please. Everybody knows you don't have any original ideas. Please. You stole everything from me for this podcast. So, we're all going to live in the same house together. But alone. In different rooms.
I don't like that.
And we all
Like
can
the
watch each other. Like
the banana splits? We're going to travel around town in a car.
I don't like this idea.
Yes, Brandon, we're going to travel around in the car like the banana splits. Raquel, who are the banana splits?
I don't know. I don't like this idea.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm quitting YouTube and I'm going solo.
I mean, your ASMR video was solo anyway.
Yeah. Why are we
Welcome
back here?
to the Real ASMR Podcast.
We're back here because it's like, as I said, we have this fancy new setup.
Yes, queen!
And welcome back to the Real Obscure Podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony Eccentricities Trevino. Sitting next to me, always sassy, always salty, but my best friend forever.
Brandon Talking Pie Freeze.
And you stole that from me. Just remember that every time you say it, you stole it from me.
I don't know what that means, Raquel.
And I'm Raquel Kinky Winky Valentine.
Oh, and we've been gone for a little while.
Yeah.
Nick is taking Oh, sorry. I turned into a Dick Tracy villain for a second. Nick is on a break. We don't know for how long, but in his place is Raquel. As always, thank you for joining us.
Back for the time.
Oh,
You're just an official member now, so afterwards you're going to have to lift up your shirt and we're going to brand you in the middle of your shoulder blades.
We all had to do
Whoa!
Yeah.
We all had to do
We all had to do it.
I need some proof.
We all had to do it. Do I need to take my clothes off right now?
Yeah.
I mean, just your shirt, but...
I mean, well,
If you want to take all your clothes off, that's a
If you
different
can find it
podcast.
underneath all the hair.
This is my real sexy ASMR podcast.
Oh, I don't like where this is going anymore. All right. Everybody
let's
just pack it in.
Let's just take a second to say, Nick, we wish you well.
Nick, we're thinking of you. We wish you well. R.I.P. Pumpkin. Raquel, do you have anything to say? Do you have any nice well wishes for Nick?
No, it's just because we were just talking about that movie with Christina Ricci.
Well, also R.I.P. Pumpkin and Christina Ricci.
R.I.P. Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
She's not dead.
May you roast in hell.
All right, everybody just bring it back. So today we're talking about Michael Davis's 2003. 2002
Okay, sorry.
romantic Are you done?
What's going on?
Michael Davis's 2002 romantic comedy.
You're doing great.
100 Women, a.k.a. Girl Fever.
Which we still haven't really just figured out. Like, it's sometimes listed as Girl Fever, and it's sometimes listed as 100 Women. Sometimes it'll say 100 Women, a.k.a. Girl Fever.
It's also supposedly a sequel to 100 Girls.
But I don't think it's like a sequel. It almost seems like a remake.
We would call it a spiritual sequel.
Yeah, there we go, a spiritual sequel.
It kind of seems like an Italian zombie movie from the 70s that had 4 different names.
That would make this a much better movie. Oh man, Lucio Fulci's 100 Women.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm on board.
Oh, you better bet those women are oozing from their eyes.
That's right. And there's 600 dogs fucking and eating everyone else.
Yes. Give me them dogs.
Oh man, Lucio Fulci, if you're a listener.
Yeah, Mamma Mia.
Why? Because he's Italian?
Yeah.
Well, he's also dead. So.
Oh, well, boo, Mamma Mia.
Michael Davis is also the director of, you guys fucking brace yourselves, Beanstalk, 8 days a week, 100 Girls, as we mentioned, Girl Fever, a.k.a. 100 Women, a.k.a. Girl Fever, a.k.a. whatever else, Monster Man, which was a direct-to-DVD horror movie that I remember seeing long ago and going, it's like Jeepers Creepers, but if the creeper drove what was that, monster truck?
Gravedigger?
Yeah. It's basically if Jeepers Creepers had a monster truck.
What was the title of that movie?
Monster Man.
All right, I'm going to make a note of that.
And the most known of these in his filmography is 2007's Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen.
Clive Owen. Like the Bugs Bunny kind of metaphor.
I don't know if, speaking of Bugs Bunny, I don't know if you guys read the Reddit thread I sent you when Michael Davis did an AMA, but he was very intent on kind of philosophizing about the carrot scene.
Oh, I bet he was. I bet he was.
He's like, well, he stabs him in the eye because, carrots are supposed to be good for your eyes. So I thought if he stabbed the guys in the eyes with the carrots, it was kind of like making more of a statement. And then I didn't want to scroll through Reddit anymore. Because
that's where we all end up.
That's where we all end up.
I need to get off of Reddit right now.
Now, we don't often do this unless it's written and directed by, but I just want to point out he's also the screenwriter of 1994's Double Dragon.
Yep. And that's a classic example of a movie that is so overthought. It takes place in a dystopian future and there's mutants and it's crazy. It's like the Super Mario Brothers
Wasn't
movie.
Double Dragon just based off the video game Double Dragon?
Yeah,
so
where it's just 2 guys fighting.
Well, yeah, it's a side-scrolling fight-em-up game where it goes
Yeah. Raquel, would you like to join? Double Dragon.
Raquel, have you played Double Dragon?
No, but I feel like I have now.
Yeah, all you're missing is me and Brandon standing over here and then slowly going
Bow.
Anyway, welcome back to the Double Dragon cast.
I'm the red guy.
And I'm the blue guy. And together, we'll save somebody?
I don't know, just a princess or something.
It doesn't fucking matter. So Michael Davis directed this romantic kind of comedy.
I mean, both of those words I would not use to describe this movie.
Those
but
are both words.
It is technically a romantic comedy.
Raquel, if you could break down, if you could give me a brief synopsis of 100 Women.
Okay, here's my attempting to be unbiased synopsis of this movie. A guy named Sam breaks up with his girlfriend. He's a bit upset about it. He has this scene where he loses his portfolio of art and it goes flying all over in the air in a very romantic comedy type of way. And then a woman named Hope comes up to him and introduces herself and says, "I lost your smile."
I took your smile and then I lost it.
No, I'm gonna eat your smile.
You want to look into my bag of smiles?
That would be a better movie.
I'm the smile man. Look at my smile,
man. Now it just sounds like a creepypasta, though.
Welcome
to our Reddit, r/Reddit creepypasta, The Smile Man.
What was that? Wasn't that a movie? Didn't they make a movie with Smile Man?
You're thinking of The Bye Bye Man. The Bye Bye Man.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's very
What
different.
if The Bye Bye Man was played by me?
Oh shit, Michael Caine's here.
Michael Caine.
Whoa. Hey, Sir Caine, how are you?
I'm great, except I lost my monster dog.
Oh man, that sucks.
Hey. Yep.
So,
That's commitment to a character.
It is.
Meh.
so Hope comes up to him and says, "You lost your smile," and gives him a piece of paper that has like a drawing of a smile on it.
Which I feel like if she weren't an attractive woman, he would have been like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
No, if she wasn't an attractive woman, he'd be like, "Oh, thanks,"
Yeah, thanks.
and take it, and then it'd be the end.
But instead he's like, "Wow, you're purty."
What a hubba.
Hubba hubba.
And Hope is essentially the stereotypical, like, manic pixie dream girl. They have a kind of date together that night. They go and do quirky
They
things.
go to a diner and they're getting to know each other, and that's when we find out that he puts his money in his sock.
Yeah.
This guy, she's a manic pixie dream girl. He's a Manny God.
He's a Matty Petty dream boy.
He's a Manny Petty dream boy.
Doesn't matter how annoying he is, those fucking fingernails and toenails are looking fresh.
On point.
Sparkle.
He has these, like, 2-inch, like, "So tell me about your day."
Click, 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 click,
Click,
click,
click,
click.
click, click,
It's like
click.
a dog walking on tile.
I've had a lot of bad days in my life, but today definitely qualifies as the worst.
Things could be worse. At least Gretchen broke up with you before she made you get your penis pierced.
You see, you're funny, haha. I'm just sort of accidentally funny.
Accidentally funny?
Yeah. You see, I'm always doing weird stuff and I don't even know it. It just happens. And thus, I'm accidentally funny.
Sam, nobody's normal all the time. Look at me. I just noticed I've had my shirt on inside out all day.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not even normal some of the time. You see, would you look at this? Case in point, right? I have a fake wallet I keep in my pants pocket in case I get mugged. I keep my real money crumpled up inside my sock. This is odd. You know anyone else in the entire world that does this?
Mm-hmm. One other.
Who?
Me.
So they're both quirky, and
hate
I
it.
feel like I hope you can hear my air quotes I'm doing right now. They're both quirky, and Hope gives him her number. He writes it down on his hand, but then it starts raining, and the number washes away.
Yeah, so they go outside and they share a kiss.
Yes, a kiss, and that's it, and then it's done. So then Sam desperately is trying to find Hope again, so he takes a job as a delivery boy in the hopes that he will deliver something to her house, I guess.
It's not a well thought out plan.
No, but it works, and he ends up finding her.
It works because movie logic.
Yeah,
because in the reality,
This
he'd be there for
whole
4
movie
years.
works.
She's got to order Chinese takeout at some point, right?
The whole movie works because only based on movie logic.
Oh yeah.
So he ends up finding her, but Hope isn't the quirky manic pixie dream girl anymore. She's sad. She has emotions. Ugly, stupid emotions that Sam needs to fix. So Sam makes it his goal for the rest of the film to give her smile back.
It's just a movie about people stealing smiles and then going around exchanging smiles. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon cards. Oh, you got that smile? I got this smile.
I got this smile. Look into my bag.
Look at my smile.
Yeah, that smile guy's back outside again. I really wish he'd leave.
Outside with his cans.
Yeah, and he's definitely a cousin to the guy that was in the coffee shop we were at before we came over here, who was just screaming.
On the sidewalk, just
back. I gotta imagine that happens often out here.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the general premise. should I even say what kind of happens at the end?
Well,
I guess we'll
basically,
get to it.
the movie is about this nerdlinger dork
Yeah.
who thinks he's really quirky, and he calls himself accidentally funny. Like, it's strange because you can't really call yourself accidentally funny when your whole goal is to be accidentally funny. Then you're no longer accidentally anything, but definitely a douche.
Right.
I wish rolling my eyes made an audible sound.
Let's see.
I'm not gonna try. It doesn't. Spoilers.
Roll your eyes back.
Wow.
Wow.
They did make
A
noise.
slide flute.
You did. We are hurting for listeners, Raquel. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're about to do physical comedy on a podcast.
You better make your eyes make noise right now.
Boing, 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 boing.
Thank God.
The entire movie is him doing that thing that every 90s, 2000s rom-com has kind of taught people, is that it doesn't matter if somebody tells you to leave them alone. Just be persistent enough.
Just wear them down.
Yeah, that's another way that you can very easily summarize this movie. A dude is will not leave a fucking woman alone until he makes her smile. Until he sees that smile, he's not going to stop harassing her.
This is the most extreme example of, hey, honey, you should smile.
Yeah.
Smile more.
Except it was an hour and 40 minutes of that.
And she spends 90% of this movie saying, hey, man, leave me alone. And he's like, but I gotta give you your smile back. I'm gonna project cartoons on a wall because I'm quirky.
You don't understand. I have feelings.
We both keep money in our shoes.
Except she didn't until he met her, and then they did.
And that was how he knew it was love.
See, here's the thing. Like, the premise, if you just take the bare bones premise of this movie, I don't think it's, the most horrible thing. Like, it could work as a romantic comedy. It would still be pretty cheesy. Like, I don't think you could do a movie that has that premise that doesn't end up being somewhat cheesy. But I think it could still work as, a decent enough film.
Mm-hmm.
But it's executed so horribly that this ends up being... It's one of the worst movies I've probably ever seen in my life.
It has this frame of a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
But the contents of this picture is a Fairley Brothers movie.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And there are some scenes in it that I think are actually kind of nice, but then they're juxtaposed with scenes that are so over the top, disgusting or raunchy or anything that it's unforgivable.
Well, and it's strange because I couldn't tell watching this movie whether or not the screenwriter was trying, or the director's screenwriter was trying to paint men negatively. Like, here's all these tropes. Here's the dude that's really persistent. And he's also got this pervert cousin. Is it his cousin or his uncle?
It's his cousin.
Yeah, it's his cousin who he works with who's just porn obsessed all the time.
Yeah.
This guy's a scumbag.
I mean, he humps a magazine rack at some point in time.
He actually humps a magazine rack.
I mean, he uses a blow-up doll as a beer cozy.
Mm-hmm.
And
why wouldn't you?
He just has porn everywhere. He's that character.
Yeah, and then the other character played by the one and only Clint Howard.
Oh my God.
Clint Howard
is this disgusting...
Everyone's favorite monster.
Everyone's favorite Chad. I unironically love Clint Howard because he was the ice cream man.
Yeah.
But he's a sleazy slumlord who we later find out has been poking holes in different walls throughout the apartment so he could spy.
Poking holes.
I was getting there. They're fist-sized holes, which I don't know how no one noticed before.
I mean, some of them were little peepholes, and some were you could shove your whole head in there.
His sexual rage made him punch holes in the wall just to get a look.
Could you imagine a sexually frustrated Clint Howard?
I think that's just regular Clint Howard.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So one thing that should be mentioned is that Hope and all the other 100 women in this movie all live in these it's just a giant apartment building, but every single tenant of this apartment building is a hot single woman that each has her own thing.
They're all like characters in a fighting game.
Yeah.
Well, there's the tall Amazonian who, when he delivers her coffee, he just talks at and he's using it as an opportunity to, like, I don't know, talk down to her.
It's really funny because when he's talking to her, she's Tanya, that's her name. It goes through the whole sense of, like, you know when a guy, like, sends a message, like, hey, you're really pretty, but then she doesn't respond, and then, like, 5 minutes later, it's like, fuck you, you're a stuck-up bitch anyways. You're ugly anyways. Yeah.
Do want to fuck you anyway.
Yeah. It's that in, like, a movie scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he goes to deliver her food, she's not talking to him. Because... I'm sorry, do you have deep conversations with the delivery dude? When I get my Grubhub delivered, I'm like, oh, thanks.
Well,
Goodbye.
I take my food, and I go back in my house.
Raquel, as a current Door Dasher, I prefer that whenever I hand off a sack full of ramen to somebody, that we could, maybe stand there and talk about what does the poem Ozymandias really mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Figure some stuff out.
Yeah,
really sit down.
Hey, here's what's going on in my life. Here's what's going on in your life. I brought you food. I mean, food's all about community and friendships, right?
Hello? Delivery?
Doors open.
Wow, what a great place you got here. I just delivered to that girl Hope up in 6D. Man, her place was a wreck. Do you know her? Hi, I'm Sam. I'm your coffee delivery guy. I said, do you know Hope in 6D? Hey, I'm speaking to you, Tanya. Can you hear me say this? You look like a man-eating Amazon princess donning her war paint in preparation for battle in the corporate jungle.
Delivery boy, could you bring me my espresso?
Oh, I take it that's an order from Tanya, Amazon princess. Your Majesty commands me to bow down before her and fetch her coffee. Well, I refuse. I won't be your slave no matter what you throw at me. I'm not turned on by your executrix power suit, your war armor. Your miniskirt loincloth displays a powerful weapon. Your thighs, which make me cower with lust. And your brassiere is like a protective breastplate you can tear away to unsheath your most powerful weapon, your hypnotic breasts. Here's your coffee, Tanya.
I already ate half of it, so we might as well sit here.
I mean, look, man, I tested the drink and it's good, but my spit is already traveling down that straw.
I mean, you ordered a Coke. I just wanted to make sure they gave you a Coke and not a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
You know?
And I can tell the difference.
I'm doing you a service.
That's right. So can I come in?
So I'm coming in.
And he gets eventually they have a fight,
Yeah.
but that comes a little bit
he's
later.
Delivering coffee to her, and eventually, after he's been talking at her for a few minutes, and it's gotten to the point where she hasn't responded, and so he's being aggressive about their conversation, like getting angry at her, like, why are you so stuck up? And then he goes on a whole rant about, that's why women like you, they just, make fun of guys like me. But I don't know, it's insane. And then he's like, I'm not gonna give you your coffee. And she's like, can I have my espresso and can you leave?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not gonna give you your coffee until you, say something nice to me or something like that. And then they end up fighting with the coffee, and then he spills the hot coffee all over his dick.
Right on his dick.
And she kicks him
burns
out.
his dick off.
Yeah, but that's when he also finds out that her pager is also her vibrator. What?
So she has her pager number on speed dial, so she calls it, and it vibrates.
Vibrate. It was 2002. Fucking vibrators definitely existed.
Vibrators existed since
And they're
like
called
the 30s.
eggs, I believe. I believe it's called the egg, where you put it inside you and it vibrates.
Whatever, man. I don't care what you put in your butt.
It's not an actual pager.
Tell us more about the vibrators you put inside your vagina, Anthony.
Yeah.
Well, I was just mentioning the egg.
Mansplain to us vibrators,
I wasn't
Anthony.
trying to. Fucking assholes.
So that's Tanya. There's the actress who's just
insufferable.
an actress, and
She's one of those.
She's always trying to do different
animal poses.
Yeah.
She's doing like yoga all the time.
Yeah.
And it's always like, I'm a flower today. And she's like blooming like a flower.
She's a real child of the theater.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She studies the immortal bard.
And there's the woman with the big boobs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Who we later find out does not have big boobs. She's just stuffing her clothes with
She's
more clothes.
kleptomaniac.
She's stealing.
But the first time we see her, it's a close-up on her boobs.
Well,
and
yeah.
we're like, well, something's got to happen with those giant fake boobs.
And yeah, but I almost wonder if Michael Davis thought he was making an anti-male gaze movie, but I don't think he was.
It's not
because all the female characters seem very much like. Here's a good time to share the story. Raquel and I took a creative writing class. I don't know if we've mentioned this before. That's how Raquel and I know each other. We went to school together.
Oh.
We took a creative writing class to graduate. And do you remember the story that guy wrote about the woman and her giant purse and the guy trying to figure out like, oh, this purse is so confusing because there's just a bunch of shit in it.
Were you in a class with Tim Allen?
And this is my last episode of the Real podcast.
Fuck Tim Allen.
This
You forgot to
immediately.
crack a beer before doing that.
Women?
Am I right? So
That was the dude.
So that was the whole point of this
Yeah.
dude's story. I was waiting for him to he read it out loud, and I just wanted him to turn and look at us and go, so chicks, am I right? Got big purses, got a lot of dumb shit. That's the story.
So his story was women be shopping?
Just women be...
It's just women. Am I right?
Yeah.
Like that.
And that's kind of how all these characters are represented in the movie. Is this one is a stereotypical, like, woman's personality trait.
Mm-hmm.
This one's another one. One's the Amazonian ice queen. The other one is I'm a ditzy actor. And this one is, I'm just sad and eating ice cream.
And then there's like a really religious one.
Oh, yeah.
Who later turns out to be a cop.
Yeah.
An FBI agent.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Can I say, though, that every single one of those women that we mentioned, you know who they're way more interesting than? Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This movie is the epitome of that trope of the most mediocre ass dude being rewarded for doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
And by bare minimum, you mean stalkery?
Yeah.
Because nobody wants that. And one thing we didn't mention is that he's trying to figure out who she is, and we later find out that it's been a ruse the whole time.
Yeah.
So we should address that before we go any further, because what ends up happening is he finds out that this other woman he's befriended, Annie, who's also Hope's best friend,
Neighbor, whatever.
they've developed this whole ruse to figure out if Sam is a good dude.
Yeah.
Right?
He's a proud boy.
Okay, no. I was gonna say nice guy, but
I guess
That's kind of the same
just
thing.
Kinda the same
worth her
thing.
time, I guess.
really what it is not a fucking rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So we find out that the reason that Hope has been so rightfully fucking depressed is because her childhood best friend, who is another dude, sexually assaulted her because he wanted more than friendship.
yeah.
And so now she feels like she can't trust these dudes, like any dudes anymore, until she meets Sam. And then she thinks, well, I don't want to get hurt anymore. And Annie comes up with this scheme of like, oh, let's send him on a wild fucking hunt to figure out what's wrong with you. And if he actually cares about you, then you'll know. So they set out all these red herrings and like try to kill him multiple times.
Yeah, they try to drop a vase on him like it's a Looney Tunes
Yeah.
skit.
So and like, you know, people will hide and be like, stop trying to find out what happened to Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
then
kind of like Rosemary's Baby.
drop a safe on his head and, you know.
Yeah. And And then eventually he develops this friendship with Annie, and he's also, he essentially falls in love with Annie, and they're, when, they're sitting in the hallway and they're drawing on each other, and no one once comes by and is like, can you guys not draw on each other in our fucking hallway? I just want to get to my apartment.
You've been out here for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
So Annie gives him an ultimatum, though, and says, well, I can be with you, but I just want you to leave Hope alone.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I can't do that. Hope's my friend. I have to help her out. And Annie says, well, if you keep helping her out, I'm going to have to leave you. Mind you, they've been together for 7 minutes at this point.
And he's already like, sorry, babe. I got a thing I got to do.
I got another woman to harass.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know we just had like a moment where we were being flirtatious and drawing on each other and kissing, but listen. I got what I got to do what I got to do.
Look, I'm a man on a mission. I need to make that woman smile for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I must have her smile.
So he ends up leaving Annie. Oh God, what a loss that is. That 7-minute long relationship.
Well, what we should have known, what we needed to preface Annie with was the fact that Annie was formerly overweight.
Yeah.
And so that's her character, is that she's now a gorgeous blonde bombshell who used to
that's literally
be overweight.
She used to be fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her story.
That's her thing.
And this guy has to swallow his vomit.
Yeah.
He's like, she used to be full up.
Yeah. There's a scene where they find an old picture of her, and both him and his cousin are like, oh, is that her?
Okay. We're describing this movie, and now let's get into how fucking ridiculous this is. So Sam and his cousin, the disgusting
pervert.
Yeah. Both of them have their dicks stuck in a giant Chinese finger trap. And they are in Annie's bathroom for some reason, trying to get their dicks unstuck out of this trap. And they see a picture on the wall, and the cousin's like, oh, this is how I can get my dick not hard anymore. I'm just gonna look at this picture of fat girl.
I forgot about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's fat. Oh, woo.
It's working. She's so fucking ugly and
she's
gross.
So fat. Oh,
I want to believe that, like, there were a bunch of dudes in the audience who were like, I'm all about BBW.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
why not?
He has a magazine at the beginning that's called the Wide Load Review.
It's true. He's
it's
like, hey, man.
At some point in time, he's jacked off to BBW.
This is a cartoon pervert who's into everything.
Everything. Yeah. But he sees a fat woman, and it's just just instantly a boner killer.
I didn't know they were real.
Oh, that's a overweight lady fully clothed.
I'd rather lick the inside of Clint Howard's mouth than look at this picture any longer.
Well, later on he ends up licking Clint Howard's foot. God. So
yeah, he does.
Only to find out the fat girl in that picture was
scratch.
Annie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Annie.
Is Annie? Wilson!
I hate this podcast.
That's okay.
It's okay. We do too.
So I think now's a good time to kind of segue into like the comedy, like the Farrelly Brothers comedy.
That's a
whole nother
use of the word comedy.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother episode.
I think the first example of this is his first girlfriend, who is Russian.
Oh, she's German. Definitely German.
She's like a German suicide girl, because there's a scene where he goes down on her and his tongue gets caught in her clit ring, and then he looks up from between her legs like he's in fucking Brian Yuzna's Society, because his tongue is 12 inches long.
It's like that scene in Dumb and Dumber where Jeff Daniels gets his tongue stuck to the pole, and he's trying to pull it off, and it's just stretching like bubblegum. And it's the dumbest, the most basic.
Well, because this movie has a lot of, aside from its poor representation of almost everyone, it has a lot of tonal issues.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one part gross out comedy, one part rom-com, one part weird horror movie. Mm-hmm. It's like the dark backwards companion movie.
It kind of is, without the style or interesting characters or Bill Paxton.
Yep. And so that's also kind of confusing. I don't know. Brandon spent half this movie just laying on the floor wondering why we were watching it.
This movie broke me.
Yeah. I was laughing throughout this movie, but I wasn't laughing because the movie was funny. I was laughing at Anthony and Brandon's reactions to it because I don't think I've ever seen someone hate something more than them when they were watching. Brandon at one point had to open the whole patio door and take a chair and put it outside and then watch the movie from outside.
I couldn't directly look at it anymore.
I'm sorry, I can't make eye contact with this movie anymore.
I just can't.
Well, hold on.
Destroyed them.
Before we get too far into just completely pissing all over the movie, he starts dating Hope, and then I don't know what this dude's weird infatuation with projectors is, but they're watching, what is it, like an old Mickey Mouse cartoon?
It's like some old...
It's like Steamboat Willie or something.
Cartoon.
And she's like, hey, look, look at this, I'm putting the cartoon on my butt. It's a cute moment.
Sure.
But then he's like, he's doing that guy thing that every guy does at some point where you're mad about something and your partner's trying to cheer you up and you're just like,
I mean, he looks fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
and it was like, this was literally your choice.
Exactly. This was his dream. This was his goal. And then he gets to it and he's like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Because now I fell in love with somebody else. And so...
And it's also the worst acted scene in the whole movie because it's just Hope is talking to him and he's just looking forward the whole time, not making eye contact with her and just scowling.
Because he's a little baby.
Yeah. He's a little baby man.
I keep money in my sock so the bullies don't take it.
Well, he has a lot of eccentricities.
Eccentricities.
I hate
and his ort.
His ort.
That.
Look, I didn't come up with the term, Raquel.
But you keep saying it.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's a stupid, douchey thing to say. It's like, I imagine some guy in a first year creative writing class just being like, when we used to go around and you have to tell everybody who you are. Oh, I'm Ian something and I'm just very eccentric.
His name would definitely be Ian too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's always
And
Ian.
I call it, my art is a lot of eccentricities and I'm accidentally funny.
Oh.
Hi, I'd like you to drop this class. I'm not the teacher, but I'd like you to not be here.
I'd like to motion for that guy to get fucked.
But not literally. So let's all just motion for him to get ripped limb from limb in front of everyone. Do it.
That's
vlog. I have tar in my car.
Yeah.
I have feathers.
Oh.
What? What just happened?
Yeah. So, and then it works because the movie starts over again at this point.
Yeah.
Because he just starts doing the same thing he did to try to get Hope interested in him, or to talk to him, but to get Annie interested in him and to talk to him. He just starts pestering her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he finally, he gets the whole community rallies all together.
For reasons.
Well, because he finally told all the tenants, what really happened.
Because they're all mad at him because there's a big scene where they caught him fucking peeping through their walls.
He gets framed for Clint Howard's pervert aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we're also, how have we not talked about the burp off?
We were trying to talk about the story first and then talk about all the eccentricities. Excuse me, I'm gonna
apologize.
Kill myself.
I apologize.
It's okay, Brandon. Sometimes, like Raquel said at the top, you gotta get a little kinky to jack up your winky.
I don't know what that means. Anyway, Raquel, go ahead.
So, that's a synopsis, but and see, that's the thing is, I almost feel, of course, there would definitely be big changes that have to be made, but I sort of feel like that could work as a rom-com?
It definitely
not stupid rom-com.
Parts of this feel like a Hallmark rom-com.
But then there's scenes where Sam and Clint Howard have a booger off.
And
yeah. It's
a snot rocket off.
It's the stupidest where they launch cartoon boogers into each
Literal
other's mouth?
cartoon boogers.
Fuck you, movie! You can't do that!
Yeah, I can't. That's where the movie just takes a hard tonal turn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we really shooting snot into each other's mouths right now?
Clint Howard
so bad.
shoots a booger, a animated, like, bad CGI booger at Sam.
Yeah.
And then Sam, like, Matrix dodges it and lands on his back and shoots his own booger at Clint Howard, and then it goes in Clint Howard's mouth, and it's like...
It's like if Max Payne were stuck in the Garbage Pail Kid universe.
Yeah.
And then, to top that off, that didn't actually happen. That was a figment of Sam's imagination.
Yeah.
Because smash cut to a scene where Sam's just having a kind of stare off with Clint Howard and decides to back off.
And the animated booger they're launching at each other looks like the Mucinex.
yeah, it does. And
here I come. Blah, 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 blah.
Then later, when everything's when like I don't know, they're chasing Sam around, and Sam's cousin has to have a burp off with Clint Howard.
Yeah, because Clint Howard's gonna go after him and be like, "You're gonna take the fall for my J. Owen," and the cousin who's decided to be
a hero?
better man.
That's impossible.
Like,
oh man,
she's like, you go, Sam. I'll take care of him. And it's just them having a burp off.
It's so dumb.
See, this is irrefutable proof that men are gross. The way I should be more precise, men without women are absolutely gross.
Yeah.
It's like Clint Howard's like, well, another challenger to the gross crown, and then they just burp at each other.
It's also
but
like
it's very
in
dramatic.
slow-mo.
Yeah.
So I guarantee there's somebody sitting in a. I'm sure there's somebody sitting in a tank top with no pants on, just be like, "Oh, they had a burp off. It's real funny."
Hey, Lorraine, get in here and see this.
Yo, check it out. These two dudes are having a burp off. Then he burps it. He's like, "So you gonna suck it?"
He's just sitting there with his dick out.
I mean,
his lazy
the person that loves this movie is definitely the person that sits around with their dick out.
Yeah.
Well, the worst part about the cousin storyline, though, is the fact that he ends up sleeping with the Amazonian woman because she just was so impressed with how courageous he was in saving his cousin.
You're forgetting this.
I'm not forgetting. I just didn't know a good way to explain it.
So, Tanya, because she's such a stuck-up bitch, who, I mean, let me reiterate, she's a stuck-up bitch because she didn't want to fucking wax poetic with Sam while he was delivering her coffee.
This fucking idiot who's delivering coffee. Right? She didn't want to talk to him.
And won't shut the fuck up while she's trying to get ready.
Yeah.
They decide, like, oh, we're gonna get her back. Get her back for not talking to him.
We're gonna get back this ice queen.
Yeah, I'm gonna get her back for being a fucking prude. And not answering all my negging questions and statements.
Oh my god, so much negging. So much negging. Yeah. So she's like an aspiring reporter, and she's like out doing some live news thing, and the cousin is like, we're gonna get her back. Give me the phone.
I fucking forgot.
How did you forget about that?
I had blacked out by this point.
Oh my god.
My brain registered this as trauma, so it just blocked it out.
So they're like in the hallway, right? And they could hear that like she was using her pager as a vibrator. And then they're like, but then she gets like rushed out by her agent or whatever. It's like, oh, you have to get to the scene right away. And And then so she runs out, and then they see her on live TV, and the cousin calls the pager, and she has an orgasm on live TV, and then gets fired for it.
Yeah, these guys ruin her career.
Yeah.
To get her back because she was such a goddamn bitch.
And Tanya knows that it was them, specifically that it was the cousin.
Yep.
And by the end of the movie, they're together.
Not only does she have the knowledge that he did that, he just saw him burp so much at Clint Howard and receive burps from Clint Howard.
Just covered in all the burps.
Yeah.
But Brandon, he was a courageous man.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's literally the reason why she's like, she sees him do all that, but then he's like, wow, you were kind of she literally says, a hero. Because he sort of helped his cousin distract Clint Howard for a bit to have a burp off?
Three things that she has seen and knows of: ruined her career, licked Clint Howard's foot, which has like long brown toenails on it that curl up, and had a mouthful of burp. Clint Howard burp. Oh, I am gonna throw up.
And by the end of the movie, she's sleeping with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're together.
Yeah.
But that's how he turned his life around. Remember? Because he's like, no, man, I don't need this anymore. I had sex once. Real sex once. Fucking idiot.
This fucking movie.
Yeah.
This
movie sucks.
Once we finish this movie, I declared, and I stand by it, that this is the dumbest movie we've done for this podcast.
Absolutely.
Probably is.
Well, and also, real quick, the movie ends with him getting Annie back because getting Annie, excuse me, not back, but he does the projector outside, the community rallies around it, they're like, look, what he's doing for you, don't you want to fall in love with this? And she's finally like, oh, okay, I guess you want to date me, whatever.
I mean, you know I used to be fat, right?
Oh my god.
The cousin just sees her walk by and is like,
and just vomits all over his shoes. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much the movie.
I mean, there's so much fucking more eccentricities about this movie that we could talk about, like all the red herrings that Annie throws out to him to get him off the trail of hope, like a butt print in like a cement wall that has a scar on it. Oh my god. So, which leads to like a montage of him trying to look at the butts of all the women in the apartment to see if they have a scar, to try and like match their scar.
It's like him walking past a woman and with a leaf blower and blowing it up her skirt so he can take a look at her butt to see if she has a scar. It's like,
I mean, he's literally like peeking up skirts.
Yeah.
And like going out.
Yeah.
Like there's so many scenes of like a woman like laying on her stomach by the pool, and then you just see his head like pop up behind her ass, and he's like staring at it. And then instead of the woman looking at him being like, get the fuck away from me, she hands him a bottle of like suntan oil.
Because exists in a universe with no logic.
Because I'm sure every woman wants a dude that just showed up leering at her ass to rub lotion on her back.
This movie takes place in a universe.
Now touch me all over.
This movie takes place in a universe where every 80s boob comedy was real.
Yeah.
And this is 2003 in that universe.
2002, Brandon.
2002.
There's a big difference.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is firmly 2002 because this has a thick ska soundtrack.
Yes, yeah, it does. As
thick on the ska.
What is it we were saying earlier? Third generation ska.
Third generation ska.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jonathan Ska the Third, who's just living off the legacy of his.
Yeah, his name's Sconathan.
Sconathan. Sconathan J. Ska.
And he wakes up and scats everywhere.
Yeah, he just skanks through.
Oh, sorry, skanking. Excuse me. Scatting was a different thing.
Yeah.
Dude with a trumpet just follows him around.
Yeah.
He has a vast collection of pork pie hats.
That's right. Anyway, I'm going to get the morning paper.
Oh no, I dropped that plate. You better pick it up. You guys want to start a ska band?
Anthony Sconathan Trevino.
Anthony's already got the wardrobe for it.
I kind of do. I already,
Just get a hat.
I'm never putting on a hat.
Any hat of any kind.
Any hat of any kind,
You
but
did-
especially a fucking pork pie
You
hat.
did make that vow after your family was killed by that hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was sad.
So that's pretty much the movie.
yeah, it
And this
fucking.
also
I just-
random, like,
Go ahead.
oh, I just really need to point out, or I needed to remind Brandon of his favorite scene where Sam accidentally stabs a woman
Oh
in
my
the
God.
boobs,
Oh my
and
God.
that was Annie, right? That's the first time he
Yes.
meets Annie.
Yes, you're
So
right.
he's like going down the stairs and accidentally stabs a woman in the boobs, and it's Annie. It's the first time he's meeting her, and just like a comically like large spurt of water just starts flowing out, and Sam looks horrified because he thinks he just popped her breast implant.
That's what I thought it was.
That's what I thought it was too. But she says, "Ha ha!" ha," she's just laughing.
Yeah.
She thinks it's the most funny, quirky, hilarious, charming thing that's ever happened to her in her life. She's just laughing and laughing. She's like, no, it's my water bra. See, do the other one. And she stabs her other boob, and then a spurt of water comes out of that. And it's like,
This. Oh,
these.
I hate it. I might have a vengeance quest against this guy.
It's, you get to the end of this movie, and you're just like, the dude that wrote this, have you ever met a woman?
The answer is no.
Definitely not.
A woman. One.
He's walked past several of them, I assume, but he has never.
He's
talked
never
to
even met his own mom.
No, that's clear.
He was raised by one father who worked all the time in a single VHS tape copy of Animal House.
Yeah. The only way he's ever seen women is climbing up a ladder, looking through their window, and getting a boner so big it knocks the ladder over.
And he assumes that anytime you see boobs, you just see...
Boy.
Oh my god.
Well, he did turn into that cartoon wolf.
There was that
Whoa.
other scene that we have to talk about.
What?
Where Sam is at the store or whatever that the cousin owns. I don't know what it fucking is. A cafe or something like
It's like
that.
a bodega.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
and they get robbed.
Yeah, but Tanya is
Oh my
there.
God.
Tanya is
Oh my
there.
God.
And she's like, I know that you called my pager while I was on. You know that I got fired, right? Like, she's rightfully pissed off. But then, like, some fucking robber comes in, is like holding a gun up to them, be like, give me all the money in the drawer. But also takes a really long time to rob them because he's just kind of like ranting about shit. And then, like,
Well, he had the script had to have enough time for Tanya to make sex noises, so Sam's dick gets erect enough to touch the alarm that's underneath the desk.
Well, what happens is he comes in and says, "All right, everyone, give me your money," and the guy goes to press the button. He's like, "Everyone, hands up!"
Hands up,
So
hands up.
Well, what
You think the jig's
well,
up?
man, what are you gonna
you
do?
think the jig's up,
So
and
he-
she starts like making sex
well,
noises.
no, first is that he looks at Tanya and then sees her nipples
That's right.
through her shirt,
That's right.
and then he starts to get a boner, right? And then Tanya looks and sees that he has a boner, so she starts making moaning noises, and then until his boner gets so erect that he's able to push the panic button with his penis.
Yeah, it's and while she's making sex noises, the robber isn't like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
No, because
he
he's
just
crazy.
keeps ranting and ranting.
Because he's a
and
crazy
ranting.
person. Brandon, the script just needed to
Tanya-
get to the dick touching the alarm.
God, that tip touching that button. Oh fuck.
And just to add that Tanya, who was there to confront Sam because he got her fired
Yeah,
from her dream job.
she could have been like, "Hey, good luck, pal,"
Yeah.
and leave.
I would have left his dumb ass there.
You deserve this,
Instead,
and spit in
she
his face.
has a whole fake orgasm
It's-
to try and get him hard.
So dumb because the universe is out to fuck this guy.
Well, because listen, Brandon, there's no problem that can't be solved with a hard ass dick.
Tell me about it.
And that's why you get to the end and you're just like, in complete 100% seriousness, have you ever spoken to a woman before?
A single human lady.
I'm confident saying no. Absolutely
no,
not.
probably not.
I don't think it's possible.
No.
I mean, he did later go on to do Shoot 'Em Up, which I believe has a scene where Clive Owen is having sex while also shooting people.
Well, that's how my morning started.
I also killed 2 men with a carrot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did.
All right.
Those guys, man,
Well,
they had a rough time.
I think everybody can get the gist of how we feel about this movie, but real quick.
Hold on. Let me get a litmus test here. Better or worse than Forbidden Zone? Easy.
Wow.
This should not take this long to
It's
answer.
All right.
actually worse.
Yeah, you're right.
To me, I hated the Forbidden Zone, but I can still think of that one good scene with Danny Elfman. This has no good scenes in it.
No,
so
no,
I
that
have
was-
to say that this is worse than
That was the
Forbidden
correct
Zone.
answer. I just wanted to get that.
All right. Well, before we do our round table, actually, we're gonna do a new segment.
Oh.
We're gonna read some reviews.
Oh!
Now, no one wants to read bad reviews for this movie because we all already know this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Left Man Out on Amazon says, don't miss this one. Like it has been said before in other reviews, the movie 100 Women has nothing to do with the movie 100 Girls. They are written and directed by the same person, but that is all that really links the movies together. There are a lot of things about this movie that make it one of the best unknown comedies around. The cast of characters is a relatively small and unknown one, however, everyone in the movie plays their parts perfectly. My hat goes off to LGF, whoever the fuck that is.
I doff my fedora.
For once again bringing us one of the best comedies around. Now, there's a whole middle
One of the best?
There, oh yeah, strap in.
Get fucked.
Strap in because he is pulling that fedora down hard. Oh god, Raquel died.
Oh, gotta hit the reset button on Raquel.
So I'm gonna leave out the paragraph where he goes over the movie because listen, this is highly recommended for anyone who is a fan of
this still
100
going?
Girls or 8. There's 3 paragraphs. Or 8 days a week, or anyone who is into romantic comedies who can be as soft as they are dirty. All in all, I think most will find themselves satisfied by the viewing experience and maybe even find one of their newest favorite movies. Well, I still prefer 100 Girls, but then again, I probably always will. That doesn't detract anything from this movie. Snag a copy today and start enjoying the laughs right away.
What was the name of the guy that directed this movie?
Michael Davis, so I don't know who the fuck LGF... Oh, Lionsgate Films. Alright. I don't know why you would... Oh, yeah, it says it. His hat's off to Lionsgate Films.
So, that was a review by Michael Davis, right?
Probably. I mean, we could all agree. He said he prefers 100 Girls. That's probably true. He wasn't talking about the
Well,
movie.
I would say the worst movie... the worst review here is, this is the movie from my childhood that satisfied my cheeky romance cravings. You will either love it or you will hate it.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if as a child I had cheeky romance cravings.
No.
I was just like, fuck, I gotta watch Angus again. Fuck yeah, I gotta watch Can't
Daddy,
Hardly
yes.
Wait again.
Angus,
oh, God,
yes.
yeah, fuck yeah,
Yes.
fuck yeah. Stealing Harvard, yes.
Yes, Slay Queen. Goodbye, everybody.
So that's how I get cheeky.
I don't know. You've never met a 7-year-old that's just like, what's the latest rom-com that's come out?
Well, I've got one for you.
There was that one time.
It's called Freddy Got Fingered.
The most romantic movie I've ever seen. Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Watch me jack off an elephant? Does that happen in that movie?
Probably.
Does anybody remember that?
He delivers a baby and chews the umbilical cord off.
No, that sounds about right. That sounds par for the course for 2000's Tom Green.
Hey, remember Tom Green?
Everybody does now. But Brandon, I heard you had some trivia.
I do. This movie has some very fascinating trivia on IMDb.
Lay it on us, Brandon.
And I specifically requested that you guys not read this because it's very fascinating, and I wanted to get your guys' genuine reaction.
God, I'm scared.
And it's under the spoilers as not to spoil the movie.
Oh, shit. Warning.
Okay.
Woo woo.
I gotta limber up. I gotta limber up because it's a really long one. Are you ready? Is everyone ready?
Oh, God.
I'm strapped in.
Okay.
Fucking scared.
Trivia. The only piece of trivia on IMDb. That was a real orgasm.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's it. That's all it says.
Who wrote that?
It doesn't say. Some internet bandit put that on the internet.
Some fucking edgelord troll wrote that.
And what are they talking
Which
about?
orgasm?
They're clearly talking about the robbery.
I
Or-
guess.
I mean, because she kind of has a little
what?
thing going on when she's
Yeah.
recording,
No, she had. Yeah, that's
and
why
it
she
falls
gets
out of her
fired.
skirt. That's what I
Oh.
assumed, but who could tell?
Who knew?
It doesn't even specify.
What
if it
member?
was a man or a
What
woman.
member of 100 Women's art department wrote that?
that orgasm real?
What PA was like? Oh yeah, she fucking put that up there.
No, I was there.
No, it was there. I picked it up and there was just a little snail trail on it after I picked it up.
I've given a lot of women a lot of cums, and I know that one was real.
I know real cummies when I see it.
Please, Anthony, never ever fucking say snail trail ever again.
But say cummies much more often, please.
none of them.
Cummies.
Slay queen, slay.
Welcome back to the 100 Ways to Come on Stuff podcast.
And goodbye, everybody.
Hope you're all listening to this at work without headphones or in your cars with the windows down.
Hey, car next to you, get fucked.
Oh, so that was the only piece of trivia.
That's
all right.
it. That's
all right. Well, I'm gonna call bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
You don't think that was
It's just the boom guy. Just
Anthony? No one can act that well.
oh,
No one.
duh. I mean.
Anthony's only used to the real thing.
So, thanks for sharing that trivia.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Brandon.
Which leads us to another brand new segment called Raquel, explain yourself. Why did you make us watch this movie?
Oh.
This is a new segment that we are doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or whoever
when
picked
someone
the movie.
when someone picks a movie, which Raquel picked this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and we all unanimously hate it, the person that picked the movie has to explain themselves.
Okay, so it really came down to I chose 3 movies, right, that we could potentially watch. One was something that seemed like some shitty Hallmark movie, but not even Hallmark, like an off-Hallmark movie called How to Train Your Puppy, but puppy is crossed out and it's husband, and it just seemed boring.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was going to be a Western that was called
Copper or something?
Copper Wind, something
It
like
doesn't-
that.
It does not matter.
It just looked really shitty.
And it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
That's what I wanted. See,
we definitely chose this movie based on the runtime.
yeah. So I wanted to watch the Western just because I felt like at some point in time we would have seen like a car drive by in the background.
Yeah.
Just because it was, even in the trailer, you can see like buildings in the back.
In
Like
the background,
I was
there's
just
just Disneyland.
Howdy, partner. That guy's definitely standing in front of Circus.
So it just seemed really shitty, but then we found it was 2 hours long, and so I said no. And then there was 100 Women, which looked like it was at least professionally done and not like boring. It seemed like it seemed like a real movie is what I'm talking about. And it was shorter than the Western, so that's why we watched it.
Yeah.
Well, from now on, we're just going to refer to this as your favorite movie. So
Oh God, no.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for that
thanks for making the wrong
experience.
decision.
Yeah.
This is your fault, and you should feel bad about it.
More like 100
I don't
regrets. Am I right?
Oh, man.
Bye.
All right. Raquel,
Uh-huh.
I forgot what we were going to do with this segment.
Did you like it?
Did you like it? Would you
Would you
recommend
recommend
it?
it?
And what do you think the takeaway for this was?
Did I like
what did you
it?
take away from this movie?
Did I like it? No. Would I recommend it? Absolutely not. Unless, I can't.
Come on.
I might actually recommend this.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
It's
Okay.
a horrible movie, but
Uh-huh,
here's the thing.
uh-huh.
If you can don't watch this by yourself.
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is a friend hangout movie.
Watch this with 2 friends that you think will hate it even more than you do, and watch them have mental breakdowns. Because that's why I had a good time.
Is to watch Brandon lay down and me just throw my notebook on the table and walk away.
Yeah, I had to bring back Anthony, and Brandon had to take a nap
Yeah.
because he was actually...
My brain couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It shut off.
Because at a certain point, I was like, did a new movie start? We just restarted the plot.
Yeah. Anthony, like, threw his notebook and was like, fuck this, at some point in time.
It's like when you're listening to an album on Spotify and you accidentally have it on repeat. So the last track plays, it loops back to the beginning, and you get like 3 tracks, and you're like, wait a minute.
Or it just loops back to track 2.
Yeah.
The fuck?
That's the only reason why I would recommend it.
What's the takeaway?
What's the takeaway? Maybe there's 2. First takeaway, if you fucking harass a girl enough, I'm sorry, not a girl, a woman. This is not 100 girls, this is 100 women. If you harass a woman enough that you met one time, she'll eventually smile for you. And, you should try to be a good friend to women, because if you do, then you can sleep with their friends.
My man.
That's the best I can do.
All right.
That's the best I can do.
Brandon?
I didn't like it. Like I said earlier, it broke me.
Mm-hmm.
I am a broken human being now for having seen this movie. Would I recommend it? No, probably not. There's better bad movies to watch. Don't waste your time. Don't give this guy views. I'm sure he gets like pennies for every time someone watches this movie. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
My takeaway is that just life is meaningless. We're just cascading through space. Nothing matters.
All right.
And sometimes you gotta have a burp off. Because fuck you. With Ron
Howard. Well, Raquel, you may not know this. Clint Howard's Ron Howard's brother, legitimately.
Okay. And there was a zipper on his forehead, and he unzipped it, and it was Ron Howard.
Okay. Clint Howard's.
That's how Ron Howard's just playing all these gross roles, because he really just has a hard-on for being a character actor, which is why Ron Howard was secretly the ice cream man.
The ice cream man?
I'm secretly the ice cream man.
Hey, y'all, I'm the ice cream man.
Hey, what do you think the takeaway was?
That was my takeaway. Life is meaningless.
Okay, cool. I fucking hated this movie. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone outside of a bad movie club or, a movie to watch with your friends. I think the intended takeaway was that, sometimes dudes suck, but you just gotta give in. And I think that was the director-writer's intended takeaway.
Good job.
Because
Good job.
What?
Dudes, but yep.
All right, well, can I finish?
Yeah.
Thanks. I think the director was trying to... I don't think, you know what? Fuck it. I don't think the director-writer knew what he was doing, period. I think this is a movie full of stereotypes, and it's boring, and it just perpetuates the stereotype, it perpetuates the theme in a lot of early romantic comedies that if you harass a woman enough, they'll sleep with you, or they'll date you, and you just have to get stranger and weirder and creepier to get someone interested in you. And the takeaway was probably some bullshit about how you probably will fall in love with this other person who you didn't quite see on the periphery at first because you were too busy following this other person, but really it's lost in all this misogynistic garbage.
Can I change my takeaway?
No.
Sure.
If you're a dude, specifically if you're a white dude, and you are just so incredibly mediocre, and your art is just so...
Oh yeah, this guy's art fucking sucks.
Average... and you do the bare minimum of just not raping women, not literally sexually assaulting women, they'll do, you can get fucking anyone you want.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone, and they'll just give it to you. They'll just fuck anything you want. The world is yours.
So Michael Davis, I'm gonna have to say, your movie fucking sucked.
And fuck you.
And,
Michael Davis, you burnt.
Yeah. Yeah. I got nothing after that.
Do better next time.
Well, actually,
Just
I
don't-
saw shoot 'em
don't
up.
have a next
Just
time.
don't have a next time.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna go with just don't have a next time.
Just
But
stop,
we will
please.
have a next time.
That's right.
On the Real Obscure Podcast movie TBD.
Ooh.
Brandon, I have what we definitely came up with and called The Shine.
Oh, yeah,
that's
that-
not something that
No,
exists.
that thing we
otherwise.
made up.
We made it up.
By the way, you see that Dr. Sleep trailer?
I have
That's
not.
that's
I
a
have
conversation for a different
I have
time.
not seen that Dr. Sleep trailer. Well, the next time you all see me or hear from me in this case, I'll be riding a jet ski over a flaming yacht because I'm gonna make all my fucking money doing ASMR videos in this new bitchin' studio.
I'll be Skyping in from my remote island where none of this, I can't hear any of this. That's not even pleasant. That's just wet mouth noises. Why? Why would you do that? Why is any of this happening?
Until next time, everybody, I'm Anthony, Eccentricities Trevino.
Brandon Talking Pie Freeze.
And I'm just gonna give you some tingles.
Good night.
That makes my tummy tickle. Okay.
Could you have not ended it like that? Please?